Welcome to Season 4 of My Wife the Dietitian, a fun, evidence-based weekly podcast about nutrition and healthy living. On today's show, we're talking about matcha. What is it and is it healthy? Listen in for all the details. Enjoying the show? You can help others find it and enjoy it too by giving us a 5-star rating or review. If you feel like reaching out to us with a question or comment, you can send us an email at mywifetherd@gmail.com. And don't forget to visit our website at mywifethedietitian.com, as well as our social media pages. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Enjoy the show. Welcome to My Wife the Dietitian.
Hey, Rob.
Hello, Sandra.
Let's do another beverage nugget. I think we did one about caffeine recently. Mm-hmm. And I want to talk about matcha tea. Matcha tea.
Much about matcha.
So this Food Lover's Companion book that I have in my hands here, 4th edition, by the Herbst.
The what?
Sharon and Ron Herbst.
Oh, that's their name. The Herbs. It's by the Herbs.
Herbst. With a T at the end.
Oh, with a T. I see. Okay.
Like Herb Street, but all one word.
I see.
Anyways, matcha, you know how to pronounce it?
I do. Matcha.
Matcha, which is a cool thing to say. It's a brilliant green powdered tea served in the Japanese tea ceremony. It's made from very high quality tea leaves, which is too bitter for most Western palates.
So it's a powder. It's like a concentrated... it's like probably dried leaves, right? That they break down into a powder.
Exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, the name means it's a different way of processing and using green tea. So normally we make an infusion. So we pour hot water over tea leaves.
Right.
Black tea, white tea, green tea, or herbal tea. And we'll do another episode on herbal tea. But that's how you normally drink tea. So it's an infusion. But with matcha, it's actually the green tea leaf is harvested, steamed, and dried, and then ground into a powder.
Okay. So it's derived from green tea, from the green tea leaf.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's from green tea. Exactly. And there's tons of claims with matcha, and we'll get to those. But
like health claims, you mean?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. The way that they grow it, the farmers grow the green tea leaves made for matcha, is they shade the plant and they cover them with cloths, and that increases the chlorophyll production in the leaf and makes a darker green leaf. So it's interesting. It's spring here, and we have a greenhouse, and I've been planting some seeds in soil in the greenhouse. In another instance, I put a full bulb onion, like an onion that had been sprouting. So it's starting to have the green sprout come up. So I put that in soil, and I covered the sprout with not a cloth, but
like a plastic bag or something?
Yeah,
like an old
plastic.
bread bag or something?
Yeah, and it is getting very dark. So it's the chlorophyll content is increasing a lot. So it's interesting. I'm doing this experiment with just I didn't do it on purpose for that, but it's interesting hearing how the farmers grow the green tea leaves for matcha is they cover them with a cloth to increase the chlorophyll production, and it makes the leaf way darker, like a darker green hue.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, because the plant it's almost under stress because it's not seeing the sun.
Yeah, plants are pretty adaptable. I mean, if you look at a plant, like we've got a plant that's sort of beside a window, but it's totally like reaching towards the window, because it wants more light. And it's just like, oh, I'm gonna get that light. Or the way trees grow outside, like they bend to find the light, or they stretch their roots towards the water.
Yeah,
it's pretty wild.
Absolutely, yeah. And so they harvest the leaves, they remove the stems and the veins, and they grind the leaves to make a fine powder. And so because you're drinking the entire leaf, it increases the caffeine and it increases the antioxidants. And we're going to get into details about the different antioxidants and chemicals that are in the green tea that are so potent.
Do you think that's why they, like, the purpose of doing it in the first place? Because they wanted to, like, get more goodness out of it, like the antioxidant?
Apparently, it's been around for centuries, matcha tea. So probably, it was helping people and like medicinally. And so, yeah, it's kind of trendy now in North America.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah. And what kind of the ritual of making it is you put a teaspoon of the powder, the matcha tea, into a mug, and then you pour the hot water in and you have a bamboo whisk to froth it up.
Oh, okay.
But so what is the flavor? Have you had matcha tea?
I have, but I wasn't really, I don't know, I had a sip of something, but I don't think it was straight up matcha. It was like all done with like coconut milk and extra stuff in it. So
yeah, exactly. Someone we know made it for us, and it was definitely flavored up. And I think that's the thing with a lot of tea or a lot of beverages is they're good, but then we add lots of sugars and sweetening and syrups and different things to make it taste better, because matcha tea, as it said in the book, it's not sweet as for the palates for a beverage. So it tastes kind of grassy. It's like it's been described as like smelling and tasting a little bit like pureed peas, like green peas.
Ooh.
For a drink, like a savory broth. So yeah, a lot of people mix it with milk or sweeteners to help with the
flavor.
Flavor, yeah. And if it tastes quite fishy or metallic or overly bitter, it probably is a poor quality. Maybe it's an inexpensive. Not that the expense has to.
Yeah, indicate the quality, but
yeah. It could. But it shouldn't be fishy tasting and or metallic. And that's one of the problems, actually, is green tea. A lot of it is grown in places where the level of lead in the soil is pretty high. And so when you have green tea, like regular green tea, you are infusing it. You just pour water over the tea leaves. So not a big deal. Like you're not getting a lot of the heavy metal at all. But if you are consuming the whole leaf in a powder form,
right,
it's different, right? So you're probably getting a higher amount of lead. And if you're doing this every day, that could lead to problems.
Has the lead content been measured in the powder? Like, is it still there? Or
it
is
would
it just
be different in everyone. It depends on where it's being grown and, all the processing.
I'm just wondering if it's removed somehow through the processing, or if it would still be there then.
Yeah, heavy metals can't get removed.
Yeah, okay.
From plants.
Right.
But people, I think, like the idea of having a higher dose or concentration of the caffeine in a tea form, not in coffee. So a lot of people that drink the matcha, I think they think that it's more natural.
Right. They want the kick of the coffee, but they think there's all these medicinal properties of matcha and it's better than drinking coffee.
Yeah. So,
right.
Yeah, exactly. And we did the caffeine, like the continuum of different beverages with their caffeine content last week or a little while ago on the caffeine episode.
Right.
So green tea, 8 ounces. 1 cup of green tea is about 11 to 25 milligrams
of caffeine.
Yeah. Whereas matcha is higher than that. So 19 to 44.
Okay.
So it could be similar to a cup of coffee, depending on how your coffee is made and brewed and everything.
Yeah.
Maybe about half the amount of coffee, but depending on other factors.
Sure.
People also use matcha in lattes, in desserts, in baking, in shots of matcha.
Oh, yeah?
To get that caffeine kick.
Like a little espresso.
Exactly. Yeah. Some of the claims for matcha include it, lowers cholesterol, it detoxifies the body, it torches body fat.
I love that.
It helps with weight loss and reducing risk of cancer. But, claims are ways that people market, right?
Absolutely. But they work.
The marketing works.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about some benefits of matcha tea. So number 1 is antioxidants.
Okay.
Yeah. And do you remember what antioxidants do? Prevent cell damage. So they help sequester free radicals.
Yes,
stabilize free radicals.
That's what I was going for.
They come from the catechins. Remember we talked about that with green leaf or green tea in I think in the immunity episode way back. Yeah, so those are plant compounds that are like a phytochemical. So the catechins, it's an antioxidant.
Right, okay.
And that can help reduce risk of inflammation, help with, the anti-inflammatory diet.
Okay, yep.
The number 2 benefit, it could help protect the liver in people that have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is growing like leaps and bounds in our society, in the North American society,
right?
With a lot of different factors why that's increasing in incidence. I see it way more than I used to 20 years ago. It could help the liver flush out toxins, help with processing nutrients, metabolizing medication and alcohol in your system. So protecting the liver that way. But it's mixed results because the studies also show that for people that don't have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, matcha tea could actually increase liver enzymes.
Oh, really?
Which could, be not a good thing with your blood work, because then it would be red flagged and then they'd have to do more investigations like, why are your liver enzymes increased? So that would be people that are drinking matcha tea, regularly.
Right.
As a regular beverage, like daily. Because when you do something that regularly and it's not variety, remember we talk about variety is a spice of life? Well, the same thing with your beverages, with your tea, your coffee. It's good to kind of mix it up. If you buy certain brands all the time, mix it up. Get other ones because they're grown in different soil. They're harvested in a different way. And
true.
with matcha, same thing.
Yeah, I've never thought of it that way. That's a good point.
You just spread out the risk. So if something's got more arsenic or more lead in the soil, and then you're buying a different brand from a different region, it would possibly have different heavy metals or different chemicals in it.
Sure. Oh, that's true.
So the other thing is boosting the brain function. So there's something called L-theanine.
Okay.
L-theanine, which it gives you kind of that relaxed alertness, like a mellow effect. It alters the effect of caffeine by helping promote alertness and helping avoiding the crash in the energy levels. So that's another big reason people drink it, is that L-theanine amino acid. There was studies that showed that it enhanced the attention and reaction time and memory versus people that were on a placebo pill.
Oh, really? Okay. So there's an actual effect.
Yeah, it was 2 grams of green tea powder daily for 2 months. And it improved brain function in older people. So I'm saying this because the studies and the research is very new and mixed results. So I wanted to just preface with the heavy metal conversation.
Right, I see.
And just that, even though there might be some benefits, got to take everything in moderation, right? Yeah. So the theanine is the boosting the brain function. It also has in the green tea, there's something called EGCG. We've talked about that before too. It's a type of catechin. And so it could potentially help with preventing cancer, like anti-cancer properties. help with heart disease and osteoporosis. But it's not like more is always better. Like drinking lots more, getting lots more. There's like a threshold with benefit.
I see.
So a little bit is good, but a lot doesn't make it better.
Right. Okay.
I think in our society, a lot of times people hear a benefit and then they just go
crazy
overboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's moderation. Just treat your body nicely and don't like overload with these things that we hear about. Heart health. So protecting against heart disease and reducing the risk of high blood pressure is another potential benefit.
Right.
It is the matcha or the green tea leaf extract, which is what matcha is. It's been added to weight loss supplements, and that's where the claims of burning 43% more calories in 12 weeks to help reduce BMI, so increased metabolism and fat burning. But going back, there's one study from 1999 that only had 10 people in it.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And yeah, 6 out of the 10 had a little bit more calories burned. So it ended up being about 78 calories more that they burned by taking the green tea extract. It wasn't matcha, it was green tea extract, which is pretty much the same thing.
Right.
And 4 out of the 10 didn't have any benefit at all. So I think a lot of the claims came from that one study, and I'm not sure how they can say it.
Well, they could say the majority of people, right? Which is true. And the funny thing with studies, and this is the whole problem with social media and so-called research that people do through social media and YouTube, is they read these studies. Well, they don't read the study. They read the headline. They read the result and the claim. Like we just said, you could say the majority of people have great benefits by drinking matcha, or most people are losing X amount of weight by drinking matcha. But what you don't read is that, oh, there was only 10 people studied and they only studied them for a week.
Well, they studied for,
I don't mean this study I just mean the studies aren't, you got to look at the details to see what it is they're studying and what the actual results are, not just what they claim.
Yes.
Because you can take one study and make it sound fantastic, or you can make it sound like a disaster, and it's all the same results.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's all the same numbers. It's just how they communicate that to serve their needs. So you got to be really careful with what you read. And
you're good with this information because I remember in university, you were in sociology and psychology and really got into the stats portion of things and how they do surveys and
well, it's really interesting.
Population studies. And because looking at the stats, I remember you saying they can really skew the study to really match what their purpose was or their hypothesis.
Yeah.
And this is a good example. 10 people, like you said, they took it 3 times a day, and 6 out of the 10 had a few more calories burned, but it was 78 calories, so it'd take 2 months to lose 1 pound. Mm-hmm. 4 out of the 10 didn't have any benefit. And like you said, I mean, having a study with 10 people, how is that really affecting the body of evidence where they're claiming, torching body fat, increasing metabolism, all these things about weight loss, which...
Yeah, it's good to read the fine print, or to read. What I like to do when I see a big claim like this is I'll research kind of to see how legit that claim is and to see what people are saying about it. And
the study. Actually go back to the original study that it's cited.
Yeah, sometimes a lot of those scientific studies they can be a little bit complex to read. If it's like reading lawyer stuff, it's almost a different language it's presented in, so it's not as easy to understand. But you can read reviews of educated people that have read the study and explain it in their own terms and go, yeah, it's not exactly what it claims to be. And, it's good to get all sides of the story and not just take it at face value.
Yeah. And there are databases to look at where they've, Cochrane database is one where they've taken a whole bunch of studies on a particular topic, and they've reviewed, like, there's so much evidence, and instead of just like one single study about green tea extract.
Exactly.
Like, it's incredible, the kind of claims that they can make and the extrapolations from such very small data, really.
Yeah. But they're banking on the fact that no one's going to read the fine print, and they'll just take it at face value of what the headline says, and they'll go, oh my God, this is what's happening. We got to run out and do this certain thing.
Yeah. And if they can just say, oh, it's based on the study, then when you look at the study and it's like, oh, well, look at number of like participants, like N is 10. So like, that's hardly any.
Yeah.
It's not like 50,000 people.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like the bigger the study, then the more weight the results have.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, okay. So back to the benefits. Number 5 is, we talked about like kind of reducing the risk of high blood pressure, protecting your heart, helping with cardiovascular disease prevention and being proactive, losing weight. And we talked about that and how it's kind of like, I don't know if that's actually going to.
Yeah.
And then number 7 is it's easy to prepare. I mean, it's like, 1 teaspoon into a cup of hot water and
yeah, it's like making hot chocolate.
Mixing it up. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Easy peasy.
So that's why I think that, I get a little bit wary and skeptical of products that are powder that you put in food or add to things, because it's a powder. It's not a whole food that you're picking from the garden.
It's been processed a little bit more than just tea leaves.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like I said, if you don't know the source, it could have higher heavy metal levels, such as the arsenic and the lead. It's just something that we're adding to our diet. If you do it every day, is it helping or hindering? Is it actually making your liver have to work harder to detoxify? Or is it actually helping? I think that's why moderation and balance, like variety, moderation, key, right?
Were these studies comparing matcha to like drinking water, or were they comparing it to green tea?
No, they were comparing the one study. It was a green tea extract. So it was like the matcha.
But compared to a placebo.
Yes.
Which is like nothing.
Right.
Because I'd like to read a study that compares matcha to see if there's benefits that matcha has over drinking just straight green tea, because it's derived from green tea. If it's only like 3% better than drinking green tea, then maybe it's not worth the benefits that you're getting, or the claimed benefits that you're getting from the matcha.
Right.
But if they compare it to a placebo, of course it's going to sound like this superfood, and it's like, oh my God, this stuff's like from the heavens, But if green tea is like right up there too, then it's probably better just to drink the green tea.
Yeah, or have some, have some green tea sometimes, have matcha sometimes, have coffee sometimes, herbal tea, different ways. Like, I think because the green tea has those beneficial chemicals, the threonine, that helps with like it's like a de-stressor and kind of gives you a relaxed, mellow alertness.
Right.
I think people like that aspect. It's in the matcha, but it's also in the green tea. So and the catechins too, which are the antioxidants, you're getting those in the green tea that you drink versus the matcha also. Yeah,
like a lot of the benefits that are in the matcha are in the green tea.
Yeah.
They're just more concentrated, and you're getting more of them, I guess, is what people think. It's like this more powerful, more potent kind of,
because you're actually
version
eating the leaves, like the ground up leaves.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. I mean, I get it, but yeah, like you said, you got to watch out for all the other things you might be getting in there too.
Well, it's the same thing with protein powder, and I really think, I know we're totally on a tangent here, but you don't have to use it every day. Like, there's other ways to get protein in food. Yeah. And you don't have to put protein in your smoothie or protein in your oatmeal every day.
Protein powder, you mean?
Sorry, protein powder.
Yeah, I agree.
Because again, especially if you're buying the same protein powder over and over again, it
becomes a habit for people, though. It's or not a habit, like a routine. I get up, I do this, I mix this in here, and then I put it all together, and I get on with my day, and yeah, you become like a robot with your diet and your food, and you're not getting that variety because you're not giving yourself the chance to include other things because you're on this like train of just doing the same thing all the time.
I know. And I think it's modern living. We're just so busy and distracted, and we have so many things on our mind. We've talked about being wired and tired, like overstressed and underfed. So when we get something that's working, we just kind of stick to it. Like I think people just, okay, this works. I don't have to think about it. So it's like less energy to think about.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's good to change things up. And especially if you're starting to have issues like any kind of bowel issues, digestion issues, energy, brain fog, mix it up, mix up the routine, try something different because it's not working.
Yeah, exactly. That's good advice. Yeah. So what's the bottom line then?
So the bottom line is matcha can be another
option, I guess.
Option for beverage. You could add it into your baking or into
smoothies, I guess, too, would work, right?
Yeah, into desserts or lattes for those beneficial effects. Or you could just drink it, with hot water, like the original use of it.
Right.
But I wouldn't necessarily have it every day with the cautions that we said about the fact that a lot of these green tea leaves are grown in soils that could be contaminated with heavy metals like lead and arsenic, and you're consuming the whole leaf in the processed form, like in the powder form. So I would say, if you like green tea, include green tea sometimes and other teas. And matcha could be a part of your repertoire of different beverages. But I wouldn't say it's not like a multivitamin where I got to have this every day or
right. I see.
Even that. You could take a break from your supplements too. It's, our body is pretty resilient, and I think it's important to have a diversity of different plant foods, variety, and moderation. So not having the same thing every single day.
Yeah.
And that goes for the matcha too.
Yeah. You mean, right across the board, just change it up with everything. Yeah. Good advice. Well, there's something for you to consider.
And we'll link the other caffeine and coffee and tea episodes. We've done one on benefits of tea, coffee, caffeine and sleep. So we'll link those in the show notes.
Yeah, sounds good. Right on. Yeah, you can check out the website too. There's tons more information there. It's mywifethedietitian.com. You can join up for our weekly newsletter as well. That's free to join. There's links for that on the website. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Feel free to reach out to us there. You can also send us an email if you have questions or if there's a topic you'd like us to discuss on the show. We'd love answering listener questions and discussing those sorts of things. So feel free to send us an email. It's mywifetherd@gmail.com. If you like the show, tell a friend. It's always great for new people to get on board here with what we're doing, and sharing is a great way to make that happen. You can also rate and review the show. That's another great way to help other people find it and let us know sort of through your comments and your feedback how we're doing. It's good for us to know that we are helping you in the way that you want to be helped. So that is it for this episode. We will be back on Wednesday with Nutrition Nuggets. So until then, have a fantastic week, everyone. Thanks for joining us today on My Wife the Dietitian. If you like what you heard, don't be shy. Leave us a comment or review, and be sure to share our podcast with your friends. If you'd like to hear more, hit that subscribe button.
You can also follow us on our social media pages for updates, episode trailers, and other odds and ends. For more info and links on what we discussed on today's episode, check the show notes. We'll be back next week with another informative and fun-filled episode.